I wanna be the very best, like no one ever was. Dum. Hello and welcome, my awesome typed leaves. Pokemon come in all shapes and forms, and everyone has their favorites. They also come in 18 different types. Some of them even have 2 types. For the sake of this video, I will only count 1 type per Pokemon to get a full 18 of my favorite Pokemon. 1 for each type. And while there are some that do make sense in dual typing, others I will technically only count as 1 type. Like, the normal flying ones shouldn't be normal in the first place. I would never call one of those my favorite normal types because they are flying types, not normal types. Definitely. Also, when it comes to flying bug types, I'd rather call them as a bug type than the flying type because it might make sense that they are flying, like for example Butterfree, even though I would prefer it to be bug psychic more, that it is flying, but I mean, it's a bug. Obviously you should count it as a bug. But enough with the explanations, so let's start right now with the normal type. My favorite normal type should actually be my favorite fairy type, but I have no idea why they didn't turn it into a fairy type. Yes, I'm talking about Audino from Gen 5, which should have turned into a fairy type onward from Gen 6. Because it's a magical girly being and, well, magical stuff is fairy type. Also, it's kind of cute, it's pink, which a lot of fairy types are, and yeah, it should be a fairy type. No question about that. What I like about it? Well, as I said, it's magical girly, and I do like magical girl series like Pretty Cure, for example. And it encompasses that very well. Also, its move pool is awesome. It's probably one of the strongest normal types that exists. But I'm not sure of that because I'm not into competitive. However, I do like its design, I do like its move pools, and yeah, that makes it my favorite normal type. On to my favorite fighting type, which is Urshifu. Specifically, single strike style. What can I say? I like Chinese martial arts movies, especially Jackie Chan and Jet Li ones, and this one basically is that. It's a giant martial artist bear wolf thingy coming from a region presumably based on China. We don't know about that for sure right now, however. Also, I like the little story you get around it in the Isle of Armor that makes you have a bond with it. That's just nice, and I hope more mythicals or legendaries or whatever you call it will do stuff like that. We need more of this than just giving us them via mystery gift. For the flying type, my favorite is easily Braviary. What is not an easy decision though is the normal form from Unova or the Hisuian form. I think I will give the Hisuian form the edge a bit because psychic flying is more interesting than normal flying. Also, these energy things on his head just look really cool. However, it is very close between those two. And in Legends Arceus, I will definitely use a Hisuian Braviary. Poison is not a type I use much. Yeah, I will stop that now. Enough Snake. But that doesn't mean I dislike it. As a dragon lover, my favorite here is Naganadel, which does look dragony but also very poisony, so I can count it as both. I love the mixture of a bee and a dragon, which works really well. And I hope we get more stranger mixtures in Pokemon like that. Because if they get too close to real animals, it's boring, right? Also, its color scheme, shiny as well as non-shiny, is very cool. Ground type is a bit complicated. I would say Sandslash, but as I prefer the Alolan variant of that one, and Sandslash, the normal one, would be basically on par with Excadrill, well, the latter one gets to take the sand cake here. Funny thing is, I never used an Excadrill before because I really wanted to, but there were just some more Pokemon I liked more in Gen 5. And as I'm only using Pokemon from that specific gen, at least in my main playthrough, it never happened. Nowadays I would probably just do another playthrough, but back then we only had one save, and I'm not about deleting that one save. Nowadays I would just use a different user on my Switch and have a new adventure with Pokemon that I haven't used, but I like to use. Also, what makes Excadrill so likable for me is that it is a fast ground type. Most ground types tend to be more on the slow side, but I do prefer the fast types. So yeah, Excadrill matches that perfectly. Also, I just like the design. Rock is probably my least liked type. It's just hard to warm up to. Pun intended. But of course, I do have a favorite here as well. And that is Lycanroc Dusk form. I used it in Ultra Sun, and I like this trusty Dogmon. I can't see myself using another rock type in coming playthroughs, but if they create one like Lycanroc, I might change that. Bugs can be so interesting. And that also goes for bug-type Pokemon. I remember using my Butterfree in Red, which, yeah, it was weak, but I liked it. I even loved it. It's just... yeah, I'm using Pokemon that I like. I'm not competitive, so I don't care about their strength or weakness. However, things have changed with them. And Sun and Moon gave me the bug type I always wanted. Vikavolt! Bug and Electric is just a typing that should have been there from the start. It works so well together, especially when it comes to bugs with antennae. That's why Voltula didn't really do it for me. We had a Bug Electric type, but it wasn't really what I was looking for. Vikavolt though fixes that with a really cool design, is speedy behavior, even though from the stats it's pretty slow. Why, I don't know. And yeah, it's just an electric bug. And it's hard to make a bug type that I would like more. But show me, Pokemon Company. Create something I like more. Looking forward to it. Especially since Game Freak likes to put a lot of bugs in the Pokemon games. So there's a good chance there might be something in the coming games. When it comes to ghosts, it's easy again. I love the witchy design and this color scheme of Miss Magius. When I first saw that, it immediately became one of my favorites. But again, I never had the chance to use it, as there were just 6 Pokemon I liked more in Gen 4. Well, in BDSP, as you can exchange whenever you want, I do have a sub-team, which includes Miss Magius as my ghost type. I've made a video about this as well. If you're interested, link to that video in the description. Whoa. My favorite steel type is a legendary, specifically Zacian in the crown form. Now, I just love dogs and wolves as well as swords, and well, it mixes both of them. So how could it not be? Also, it has wing-like designs on its back which look just awesome. I don't use legendaries often, but my post DLC team headed in. Psychic. Psychic is a strange one. When I encountered Solosis in my playthrough of White, I just fell in love, and Reuniclus became my favorite Psychic type, and I don't even know why. Sure, it is green, my favorite color, but there's more to a design than just color. I really can't put down what I like about it. I just like it. Ice again is pretty easy. It's like I mentioned, a lowland Sandslash. Like I said, I always liked Sandslash, but I got never around to use one. But then when Alola came around, there was my chance. And it was a form that I prefer even. So finally I was able to use that little pangolin mon. Now I need some warmth. Pangoro is my favorite dark type. And again, one I never had the chance to use. I like it so much because I am a sucker for the Bancho style. And it encompasses that very well. If I ever do a dark types only run, this will be my main. The first evolution in this list will be the fairy one, Sylveon! I was hyped to see there's a new evolution in Gen 6, and I hope we will get more in the future. It's time to have a full set of them. I like its cute looks, and I used one in my run of X. I always liked the evolutions, but this is the first one I got around to use. The others just never fitted in, and maybe there was just something I liked more than them. But yeah, finally I could use one. Give us more in the future, please. Pretty please. With sugar on top. Okay, before we get into grass, fire and water, a little thing about me. While they aren't necessarily my favorites in each gen, I really just like using all three starters on my team. That's why I rarely, or probably never, have used a different grass, fire or water starter. So I will divide those three in two. That will be my favorite starter of each type, as well as my favorite non-starter of each of these three types. They basically would both inhabit the first place in the first place. Because one for the feelings of having the starter on the team, and the others for the design. So, let's dive right into it with the water types. Okay, for the starters. Yeah, actually I plan to make myself wet for this, but that kind of would be a bad idea, so just imagine me being, well, completely drenched. So here we go. Well, my favorite starter of the water type is Samurott. I just like samurai stuff, and well, it does that really well. And I really love the design with the shell blades. That's so much of a good idea. It's just genius. For the non-starters, I choose Kingdra. Well, I do love dragons. More on that when we get to the dragon types though. I like the overall design of Kingdra. It looks like a mythical being, which I really like because, yeah, I'm into myths and fables and stuff, and well, I actually used a Kingdra as my water type for my Isle of Armor adventure, even though it didn't stay on the team after that. Whew. You know what? I have something to say here. It's very hot. We didn't start the fire, but it keeps on burning as we keep on battling. Again, I like mythical stuff, so what would better fit that than Infernape, who is based on Sun Wukong, hence why I named my Infernape in my BDSP playthrough Sun, after said Sun Wukong. However, for almost the same reasons Ember is a very close second to that. It basically just comes down to my preference of faster mons. For non-starters, my favorite would be Victini. I just love that little guy and the mystery around him. Also, as strange as that might sound, V is my favorite letter. Is that strange? Tell me in the comments below if you have a favorite letter and which one it is. Well, but one thing might change that. And that is whatever Hisuian Growlithe will turn into. If the starters don't get new evolutions, I think this one will be the fire type on my team. I just hope its evolution will look good, so that I can use it on my team and like it. Because if I don't like it, it won't go on my team. So, Hisuian Arcanine, or whatever Growlithe will turn into, might steal the win from Victini. Even though Victini should win because, well, it's Victini. Last starter type, Grass. Which is very easy. Decidueye. Because I like birds, and it is a cool looking owl. I love the wing cape design, and it is an archer, which is pretty rare. And the non-starter is my favorite evolution, Leafeon. It is just so cute and has so lovely leaves. I, as Rief the Leaf, approve of that. As my name suggests, I like leaves. So, there you go. But honestly, there aren't many grass types I don't like, so... For electric types, I'm actually gonna do 3. I just can't decide between Luxray and Zeraora. I love them both, and the real difference they only have for me is that one is bipedal while the other is quadrupedal. They both look very cool with very cool manes and a very cool color palette. A fusion of these two would be really awesome. Now, what about the third electric type I want to talk about? Well, I just want to say which my favorite Pika clone is, which is Emolga. And that is very close to Pachirisu. The only real difference that gives Emolga the edge here is the dual typing. That just makes it a bit more versatile. And that's basically all. I like them for the exact same reasons. They are very cute, well designed, and don't look too much like Pikachu. Lastly, the type that should be my favorite. Dragon. I say should be because honestly, while there are dragon types I often struggle finding one that I really like enough for my team. Thus, not using a dragon type in many of my runs. Only in Gen 3, 5, 6, and 7 have I used the dragon type on my main team. And the Gen 6 one is my favorite out of these. Noivern. While I love dragons in general, I prefer, or let's say, my favorite type of dragon are humanoid ones, like Ryu's dragon form in Breath of Fire 4. And there are none like that in Pokémon. However, Noivern as a wyvern comes close to that. And it still looks very cool doing that. Well, what is your favorite Pokemon of each type, and what is your favorite type? Tell me in the comments below. I'm looking forward to read that. And if you enjoyed the video, Dragon Breath on the like button. And while you're at it, also Thunder Punch on the subscribe button and the little bell. And down in the description below, there are links to my Twitch, Twitter and Instagram, which you should check out. So, until next time, bye-bye!